Hey guys, lepedaler back with another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my races from last season, the Midweek Crit. So without further ado, let's get right into this race. So from what I can remember in this race, I was just going with the motions, just following wheels. And I just want to get this off my mind right now. The brown bibs in front of me just looks like you pooped yourself. So I just had to say that. But yeah, from what I can remember in this race, I was just going with the motions. My fitness was nothing spectacular. And not a memorable race, but there are some things that happened in this race that I do want to talk about and share. So let's get into that. So I have to close down this gap. It's getting pretty big, and from what I can see at the moment, you see the Midweek Crit on the left, 308. That jersey is the Midweek Cycling Club. So they've recently in this lap put a lot of their riders in the front. So I don't know if they're trying to make a move, and that's one thing that I touched up in my previous race analysis, is that these early races, until you get to the point where people are coming with full teams and full race strategies, if you're in an amateur cycling club, just new to racing, this is your perfect time to bring some teammates along and test some different tactics and just try things that might be successful, might not be. And that's what I love about the early races, that it really gives you that opportunity to test things. So you'll see a couple of their jerseys near the front, and we do see some, this is early on in the race, so you see some, attacks, but they're not really, thought out. Now, there seems to be an attack going up the road. Now, they're getting a pretty good significant gap, but I wouldn't say this would be the best section to do it, but they're getting a quite significant lead. So we can see up the road, one person did go, and there's a chase group, so this is an interesting situation. I would say in crits especially, even in the early race, people will chase you down. Now, there's two white jerseys, but the second jersey at the front that just chased it down, they're going to do a counterattack right now, and they're doing that right now because the person that tried doing the attack, it didn't stick, and the best time to catch people off guard is once you catch the breakaway to counterattack that, because usually people are saying, oof, we finally caught the breakaway, and they're not expecting a second attack, which in later racing becomes very normal, and they usually have specific teammates that are designed to just tire the peloton, so to be expected. But in early races, a lot of people are not very aware of race tactics, so that was not successful, but it was good. See, that's why I like breaking down these videos, because it's good to see tactics go. And from the person that launched the counterattack, I want you guys to watch him. He's in a white jersey. We can't see him right now. He's near the front, but from what I remember from his jersey, he's not. He wasn't a regular racer, so it's hard when you don't know a lot of the racers that you're racing with, because to communicate or to figure out who to work with, it's quite challenging. You're trying to figure that during the race, so just keep that in mind as we watch the video. So it looks like people are just cruising. We're recovering. I know it's 43 kilometers an hour, but the power is pretty low, only around 250 watts, nothing crazy. So I think people are pretty tired only after the first couple of attacks. But as we see, there are people that have attacked at the front. 448, that's the guy I want you guys to look after. Strong rider in this race in specific. Really wanted to work with people, get things going, get things shaken up. So I think there is an attack up the road. And, like I said, in this race, I was just following wheels. I was not going to chase anything down. My fitness was not there whatsoever. It looks like, there's a group of three at the top, and two riders are bridging over. So it'll be interesting to see what the peloton does, and the peloton does react, right? So they're taking the fast corner. There's three riders. They're in the break. There's one chase group with two riders, and then another. See, it starts getting split up a lot. So this is where if the riders in front of me right now don't chase, I'm in a pretty tough situation. But the other thing too, because it's an early race, a lot of people don't have fitness for fast breakaways. I let him slot in. I think Poopy Pants is gonna slot in, and I'm good. I'm saved. I am saved. I'm not working more than I have to. But yeah, like I said, a lot of the people in the breakaway, I think the breakaway just got caught. So I said this previously, if you're going to attack, you got to dig deep. You got to throw the hammer down because it's already caught. So, if your, 30-second power is not there, you're not going to make a significant amount gap to actually make a dent from the chase group or from the main peloton. So you really got to work on, I would say, minute to 3-minute power. Because if you go a hit, you gotta hit it. And that's one thing, I find funny with these attacks is, if you don't have people that are specifically attacking just to tire the bunch, like if you don't have teammates that are specifically doing that to tire people out, you can really put yourself in the red. Like you can burn matches very, very quickly. But as I said, the bunch is back together. Very typical. 2 people just freewheeling at the top. Doesn't make sense. I would say this is the perfect time. If you guys do like the content I'm putting out, do like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with me putting out more content like this. This is the old overlays that I had on, that I was using on my channel. I have new ones. So if you guys are not a fan of this, don't worry. I kind of upgraded with the time that I've been given to work a little bit harder. So stay tuned for when racing does resume. I'll have better overlays. So right now, people are getting shaken. They don't know what's going on. Some people are planning on attacking. Some people aren't. It's relatively together because I would say a lot of people don't look like they want to chase anything, but very difficult to see up ahead. And that's why being in the front is always important, because then you can see when people like Poopy Pants are going on the right-hand side. He's going up. I don't know if he's going to try to attack or do something. And, you can see very early on the people that want to, work. And the cool thing with the early race is that there's a lot of juniors that say they're driving the pace up ahead. The one thing with early races, or let's say the B race, or whatever it's called in your local crit series, is that it's nice when you got juniors that are willing to put themselves in the red. They're not working for anyone, like they're working for themselves, and they want to prove themselves and their fitness. So it's really good when, you find some juniors that are willing to work, and, if you can communicate in a good, positive manner, it's really nice to see some young talent get to work. So other than that, I'm getting pretty far back. I don't know what I'm doing. My concentration is just, I'm there. This is my one workout out of the week. It really was. I was not doing anything structured training. So, when I came out to these crits, I was like, damn, I'm getting a good workout. My heart rate's 170. It usually is not like that during the commute, unless I'm trying to get to work on time. So I'm making my way up to the front of the group. And like I said, please watch 448 in the white bibs and shirt. Strong rider. Like I said, he was not a usual, but he was willing to put the work in. So it looks like someone is attacking. She's putting a big attack in. It's getting closed down right off the start. But it looks like there's a 3-person breakaway. And, I did move up a little bit because I was like, damn, that seems pretty threatening. 370 is not going to close the gap. Am I going to close the gap? I'm closing the gap. 1,200 watts. I'm closing it. I'm bringing back the peloton. And I can see that, the top group is, I'm not going to be chasing that down. I'm just trying to reconnect to the first chasing group, which I do successfully. They're rotating. I need to recover, though. 182 beats per minute. I am exhausted. And there's a 3-person breakaway up ahead, and I'm in the chase group. So I should be rotating right now. See, like, if I brought back the break, like the gap, I should be resting right now, but I'm on the limits. 186 beats per minute. I've not seen it that high recently. 600, 700 watts. I'm opening a gap, and am I going to be able to close it again? Oh my God, 188 beats per minute. I'm going to close another gap. See, and that's one thing that I always found funny. Is she going to slot in? No, she's smiling. I wouldn't be smiling if I wasn't able to make the break stick because they were caught. So I'm in the lead group now, front. Watch 448. I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm just saying watch him. Okay, so some new people want to counter. That's amazing, because I'm not tired at all. I didn't just close 2 gaps. So I got to rev it up. all the way to 700 watts. But like I said, these half efforts, I'm not complaining. They're keeping it interesting. I'm not complaining, but they're keeping it interesting. And I don't know if they're communicating. So a lot of times you'll just see random riders just pull up on the side of you sprinting, and you're like, wait a minute, are you attacking? So very interesting stuff, but I'm trying to recover. That's my whole focus right now. And it looks like there's one rider that's trying to make it stick by themselves. They're taking the fast corner 2. And as predicted, they have been caught. What a spectacular sight, as we already know. But yeah, so right now we're just rolling. And, it's very interesting because if you don't, like I said, in the early races, if you don't have a team, these attacks probably won't stick because, you need someone that's going to counter. You need someone that's going to soft pedal at the front. Like, very common race tactics that, we learn as we do these races. But usually all these attacks are good because, it keeps the race, interesting, on their toes, and, get some good fitness in. But, you won't see a lot of, the fast racing near the end. When I would say when it gets to 5 laps to go, people start fighting for position, and, things do get a little bit more serious. But usually you're going to get, a late sprint. That's usually how the race is decided in this crit series, for the early race at least. So I'm getting closer to the front of the peloton. And I don't know how many laps there are to go, but we will see very shortly. And I guess that does almost touched each other. But there is 6 laps to go, I think. So, this is where position gets a little bit more important. And, it's in this situation where from the previous video, I had a pretty good late sprint, but the thing that I really had to work on was positioning. And, come 5 laps to go, you really want to get to the front, because then if there's things that are going off, you can close them down pretty quickly, or you can, get in the mix. So, position at the front is very important, especially when people are soft pedaling here. There's no excuse why I can't be moving up. I'm actually going a little bit, backwards actually, and people are overtaking me on the side. So, I should be at the front. So an attack is going on the left-hand side. Let's see if it makes a big deal. We got Bumblebee on the right hand. He's trying to get into the mix, and let's see what I do. I'm, slightly revving up. I should follow some wheels here, and we got Orange Bike on the left-hand side. He's closing down the gap, and I slot in pretty good. Whose wheel am I going to take? I take the closest wheel because I'm expecting him to close it down, but then again, he's not, and I'm going pretty wide. I want to be sheltered. There's someone pretty close on my right-hand side, but I'm pretty good. So this is what I want to show you guys. And there, 5 laps to go. This is probably the most important thing. So, in the future too, if you guys do want to skip 5 laps to go, probably the best part of race footages are, when everything's on the line, and, things start getting, hot and interesting. So I'm just trying to conserve as much energy as I can, because, the one thing too that you guys, I always like to touch too is that, in crit racing in specific, road racing, if your fitness isn't there, you're going to get exposed, okay? On a climb, you're going to get exposed if your fitness is not there, or, if your legs are not there either, you will get exposed. There's nowhere to hide. But in crit racing, positioning, knowing how to keep aero, how to follow wheels, and just conserve your energy, you can do a lot. You'd be surprised. So, that's one thing I love about crit racing, especially last year, was that not only did I get a good workout, but, it's fun to see what tactics work and what don't, right? Then again, I have a pretty good natural sprint on me, so, it's not the end of the world. But in terms of, making, dents and actually doing attacks and stuff, I was not doing that last season in these races. So just keep that in mind. But just knowing how to ride is super important. So I'm going pretty wide, and I guess I'm trying to move up because I think there's either three or 4 laps to go. So I think I'm going to hit this one pretty wide, which I usually don't go on the outside for this corner. I like taking it mid-pack or even on the inside. Pretty comfortable. But I guess I'm trying to move up. So let's see what I do. So, she's kind of pushing me off, and we do have a double line rule, so I can't go around her. I gotta stay in balance. And usually, I don't want to be out in the open, because then I'm not sheltered. I'm not getting any draft benefit. So I'm trying to slot in someone from Midweek. He's coming around. I don't know if he's trying to put an attack in. And like I said, watch 448, guys. The the rider in the white, but that I've been telling you guys to watch this whole race. So midweek is going on the attack. Everyone's chasing all the way up. My heart rate's back up, and but it gets closed down pretty quickly, and I'm able to slot in. So then again, I'm really lucky because there's at that time riders with greater fitness closing down a lot of the stuff that I don't necessarily want to close down. Especially, I probably have easily 2 matches burnt in this crit already from the gaps that I've closed. But we're getting pretty close to the final laps, and let's see what I do here, because I'm pretty sure there's either 2 laps, so I want to get that pretty accurate. So very interesting. There's one rider off the front. There's some probably disagreement at the front of the peloton saying who should chase, who shouldn't, because there's 2 riders together working together, and I don't know if they're complaining saying I already chased, it's your turn to chase. So very interesting stuff, and that's why communication in these crits are so important. So I'm going on the outside. I'm trying to sneak my way up in the mix, because I know there definitely will be a counterattack as soon as these people are caught. But they have about, I think, 200 meters. Maybe not 200 meters, maybe 100 meters. My perception is pretty off in this position. But yeah, we have the peloton now that are going to have to chase these 2 riders, and they're on the same team, so they're working together. But let's see, I'm right behind 448, which is the guy I said to watch for. And let's see what happens with how many laps to go. Let's see how many laps. I can't even see because they're blocked. Yep, I couldn't see. So I think we're either going with 2 laps to go, but let's see. So if I'm not mistaken, this is either 2 laps to go or 1 lap to go. But there's 3 riders up ahead. I think 2 of them are on the same team. They're on midweek, and one of them is just a random rider. And then we got the chase group, which is what I am in right now. And I let a big gap open right there, but I know if I tuck good enough, I can catch back on pretty easily. But let's see. And we should be rotating a lot more to catch. Like, that's one thing too, that, someone has to speak up within the peloton and say, like, let's get in a rotation. Let's get things going. Like, having a pace line of people peeling off the left and then sliding back right in, like, things, that's how breaks are caught, right? So, there needs to be some leader that takes that role within these races. So definitely, I think I'll have a clear vision of how many laps there are to go now. And there is, I can't see because someone's standing in front. I think this is the last lap. Poopy Pants is on our right-hand side. And I think this is where it's a make it or break it. So right now, I'm already in a bad position. I'm pretty far back, especially if it is 2 laps or 1 lap to go. I don't even know at this point because I can't see. And that's one thing I'm going to add in the future videos is I will put in how many meters are left in the race. Just so we have an idea of how much longer the race is. Because that makes it easier than trying to look for the lap screen that they have displayed, which is nice because some races don't even have that. So some tacks are going up on the front. He's launching right now. This is the final lap. So the white rider that I told you guys to watch out for, someone launched in front of him and he sat on their wheel, and this is super important. So 448, the white rider with the jersey, he hopped on the attack really nice, so he got second wheel, and I don't understand why that rider was still pulling, and he's popped right there. He's on my right hand side, and he lines it up super nice for the win. And he just sat on the wheel. So very interesting stuff because that was a long sprint. He's looking up like, is it even worth sprinting? And it really wasn't, but very good sprint. So what basically happened was someone launched in front of him. And if your sprint, if you don't have a good 30 second sprint, or even like, if you don't have a long sprint, like I have a pretty good long sprint, but that was not a long sprint. Like that was not a good effort. So he was able to, just slot right behind him, get his draft, secure that second wheel, and then that guy peeled off, and then he launched his actual sprint, which was a lot closer to the finish line. And that is how you do it. So that is not how you sprint, guys. If you do not have a long sprint, don't do that. And also, he sprinted on the left hand side. We're actually going to watch this back. Okay, let's watch it back as I explain. So I'm going to explain basically what happens leading up to this. So we see him attack on the left-hand side. He's attacking, and I don't understand why he cuts so far to the right. He should have kept it really far on the left. And then again, I would say that is way too early to put a sprint in. Like, there's so much left in this race. So he basically burns all his matches. And the rider that I told you guys to watch out for in the white kit, he just gets a free ride to second place. He peels off the one that actually sprinted, and now he puts in his real sprint, nice, like 100 meters, 150 meters before the finish line, and it is game over, lights out, and he gets the W, he gets the win, and that's how it's done. Very simple, very easy. So remember, guys, if that was just very poor execution. I would say he didn't have to sprint that early, but the rider in the white, perfect execution, and that's how you get it done. So if you guys did enjoy the video and like this content, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This is not the only content I'll be posting on my channel, so if you guys have any other ideas or just curious of other content I'll be posting, comment what you guys want to see, and turn on notifications so you guys can stay updated with the latest. And until the next one, keep on pedaling.